Welcome to a brand new episode of the 3 Dot Podcast. My name is Bugsy.
And I am Gooz.
And D-Buster has the day off today.
We told him, sit your motherfucking ass at home.
He told him, stay home. Don't come anywhere near us.
Bitch.
And realistically, he has street cleaning tomorrow, which is an important thing here in our precious city, especially when you can barely find any parking from where he's at, so he can't come today.
Can I say one thing about that? I think that's perfectly fine as you get older.
Right.
Right? And actually, that's actually the whole entire theme of this episode is getting older.
Mm-hmm.
You know? The title is Titos in Serramonte.
Ooh.
If you don't know what Titos in Serramonte,
what does that mean?
Tito is a Filipino uncle.
Mm-hmm.
So it's your uncle. You know, Serramonte is a mall in Daly City, or also known as Serra Manila.
The centric mall in all of Daly City.
Yeah. There's a high populous amount of Filipinos here. So we're just going to talk about us growing up being the Titos that we are now in Serramonte. I remember, now, a little bit of a precursor. My sister is a sophomore in high school now. That's crazy. There's a big age difference, as you could tell.
Mm-hmm.
But I was walking with her in the mall, and all these flashbacks came because I remember picking her up from the mall,
right,
and being like, "Man, like, what was the point of hanging out all day in the mall?" Can you recall and talk about your time growing up?
Well, yeah, because going to Serramonte, that was my way of going home as a kid. Obviously, before driving, I was taking the bus. And you had to stop by there. And most of the time when you stop by, well, at least for me, when you stop by Serramonte, the mall, you go into the mall before going home. And then every time you had gone into the mall, there is a specific corner in the food court that is like overrun by the Titos. So the Filipino uncles all claim a certain corner over there, and they're just hanging out. They're hanging out. They're reading newspapers. They're drinking some coffee. But for the most part, they are they're gossiping.
Yeah. That's the rumor mill.
They're scheming.
That is the Filipino rumor mill. That is
right.
where you get your sources.
Yes, that is the Pinoy, or the Filipino rumor mill. And when you walk past by them, you know, you always, especially when you walk past with like a group of friends, you always think about like, man, what are they always doing here?
Yeah.
Because you would literally see the same batch of old Filipinos in that area. And the funny thing is if you go today, like if I go today in the food court, I'm not going to see the same ones that I saw 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. But I will see a batch of old Pinoys. Yeah.
It's a membership.
Yeah. It is a membership. It is a food court ceremony membership to be in that club.
What do you think they were saying back then? Let's reenact, shall we? All right? Okay? Well, someone's walking by. You and me are Titos back then.
Yeah.
Okay?
By the way, chat, I've always thought that my Filipino accent is horrible. So I'll try my best. I'll try. This is my depiction.
We walk by. They walk by, right?
Yeah.
Oh, ayun.
Alex, he's that boy again. He come here every day. Big backpack. What's he go for school? What's he studying? Bricks?
He's probably stealing.
He's probably stealing from the stores, huh?
He's always looking around, looking at that woman over there.
He follows that girl until he sees KB Toys, and then he goes to the toy store and doesn't walk out with anything. KB Toys back in the day, guys, was a toy store. OG toy store in Serramonte Mall. Before there was Toys R Us, there was also KB Toys.
Really quick.
Great store.
Did you hear the rumor that Toys R Us was bought by Snoop Dogg?
No, but
Babies R Us? Was it one of those two?
But I mean, I did hear that Toys R Us was coming back. Is it back?
I don't know.
I mean, sometimes you see like mini versions of it in the mall. I don't know. But shout out to what's his name? Jeffrey. Shout out to Jeffrey the giraffe.
Yeah, I don't know what they said back then, but I can only imagine
it definitely talks shit.
Oh, 100% because we do now.
Yes.
And that's what I mean. We're the Titos in Serramonte.
Right.
Ours is just a little bit more, you know.
The funny thing is
westernized.
Right. The funny thing is I remember a time where it was either like you and I or any of our mutual friends going to the mall and hitting that corner in the food court, and we'd just always be like, man, are we going to end up like that?
Yeah.
Are we? Which we, I mean, we kind yeah. What Goose said is it kind of did already happen, but more westernized. But we haven't claimed the corner out there. We
Yeah.
haven't hung out there
Oh
yet.
boy, I can't wait.
Maybe it's coming.
I know. Maybe they leave and then we just get drawn
It's
to
getting
it.
enticing because they have a Jollibee there now.
It's like
so.
a gravitational pull that pulls us straight to those seats.
Right.
And you sit down and before you know
I-
it, you go.
I'm gonna laugh my ass off the day where my phone rings off and then I hear Goose and he just goes, "Hey, you want to go ceremony the food court?" It'd be kind of cool if I don't know how we can do it. I think it'd have to be a quiet day. What if we recorded an episode in the food court of ceremony? That would be crazy.
We need to know the permits, like all that stuff.
Yeah.
But that'd be really cool.
Yeah. And then that way that you can get the full experience of how it looks like in there and what it sounds like in there. But yeah.
Do you have any family members who is like that stereotypical Tito? Like
That would
in your family who would sit down and like be at that mall? Or
You know, that's a funny question because
there's also titas in ceremony.
there's aunties. Yeah, the titas are the aunties. So the titos are the uncles, titas are the aunties, and they also are there as well. It's funny that you bring up that question because growing up, I would be like, how come I don't see my grandfather here?
Yeah.
Because he's just always at home. Like, why doesn't he go to ceremony and hang out with these guys? There was a time where I was always looking forward to seeing a family member there. Now I don't have any family members that that go into the mall and hang out.
Right.
But I looked forward to it because I saw so many Filipinos in that old corner.
Right.
And I would think that, okay, I'm going to see one of my uncles here one time. I might see my grandfather. Hasn't happened yet.
Now, why do you think your Lolo, your grandpa, doesn't show up over there? Is he like just more, Americanized, or maybe perhaps he did bad dirty younger back in the day?
No, I realize what he has been up to, and he has his own meeting center.
What's his meeting center?
His meeting center is the downstairs room watching war movies with his old coworkers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm serious. I mean, it hasn't happened in recent times, but back when my grandfather was a security, I don't know if you guys know this, but he used to be a security at Stonestown Mall, and when he was a security,
Man, that mall got ran down so bad.
when he left, it went to shit. He was the top flight security out there. When he retired, he stayed in contact with his security friends, and they would come over to the house. And I knew they were coming over because he'd be like, "Brian, go vacuum the room downstairs." I'm like, "Why?" Because I have visitors. I'm like, "Oh shit, it's that time." And and the funny thing is, he'd play a lot of the same war movies. I think it was Black Hawk Down. That was one of them. It was on rotation. But that's why he didn't go to ceremony, because he had his own ceremony at home, downstairs in the guest room.
See?
Yeah.
There's different variations.
It was a whole thing, man.
And like now that I look at what we do as friends, we just go to Black Star's house.
Yeah, we go to Brother John's house.
And then we get high.
We get zooted.
We get zooted.
But even before then, though, there was the trap house. We had
chaotic.
different meetings, which chaotic is in the background. I mean, even before the trap house.
No, but talk a little bit about the trap house.
Well, the trap house was a rented downstairs home by yours truly, Goose, and DJ Chaotic, who's right here in the background. They both lived there, and it was the best of times. It was really good times. We stayed there a lot of late nights, drank a whole lot, went into outer space a whole lot.
Yeah.
And
the worst weed trip I've ever had was with you. We've told this joke so many times to our circle of friends, but for those who don't know it, back then weed was still illegal.
Right.
So I got a weed cookie that was medical grade, and it was like 500 milligrams. So we split it, and you ate half, I ate half. I didn't know. That's a lot. Now that's a lot. Now I'm older. That's a lot.
Back then we were. Oh my
we
gosh.
just had started doing the weed thing and everything like that. And
good lord,
Chaotic wasn't home. It was just me and him.
Yeah.
We took a bite, and then we just started sitting and
when
we were
that
watching TV.
thing started hitting.
Yep.
So it was it this couch?
It was this couch.
It was this couch. This is the couch. This is it. This is the the scene of the crime. He was at the end of the couch, and so was I. And I knew it was hidden when I see Gooz's like
Yeah. The
digging.
weight.
When I saw his chin digging into his chest, he just looks at me and he goes, "Bye bye."
Yeah. And
Yeah.
what felt like we were laughing for hours, I remember looking at the clock and it said 11:14. I
Oh
remember
my
that.
god! Then
And then Chaotic walks in. He comes home, after his work and everything like that. And he's like, "Oh my god, are you guys high already?" And we're laughing. And then I look at the clock and it's just 11:20. And I thought we were laughing for what felt like an hour.
yeah,
But it was only 6 minutes.
dude. I mean, so that correlates to us being younger.
Yeah.
We just didn't care. Now that you're older though, I don't think you wanna go in that much.
Do you think you're at that point now where you're an actual Tito in Serramonte where you don't take weed? Because I feel like at a certain age, people start to just stop doing certain substances or partaking in libations. Are you thinking you're getting at that range or what?
Not okay. So not yet. I feel like I've always treated it as a community thing. So obviously, people in this room, if we choose to celebrate, through that gateway, then yeah, let's do it. But I will say that as I've gotten older, if it has anything to do with work and I have to not do it, then yeah, then I think when I was younger, I'd be like, no, fuck it, man, I'm gonna do it now. But when I'm like older now, I gotta do a little bit of sacrificing. But so that relates to it as much as I can think about.
Yeah.
But do we still do it? No,
No one knows.
You tell me.
I'm actually a model citizen now.
Yeah.
Many
Of
people
Daly
walk
City.
up to me and they ask, "Hey, Gooz, do you still do bad things?" And I said, "I've never done bad things."
Yeah, we got to be role models for the kids in
made
Serramonte because we
bad
clean that
decisions.
corner, man. We're the old Titos now.
Yeah.
All right.
Being old Titos, though, is the mantle, I feel like.
It is. It is
'Cause-
a tier. It is a tier of Pinoyism.
Right. This goes back now to when I walked with my sister, who pretty much is my daughter. Like, she's my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
My test run daughter.
Yeah. So
That's a 20-year-old difference. So whenever I walk with her in the mall and everything, like, people are like, "Oh, he's like, oh man, this guy was a young dad or something."
Mm.
So I walk with her and she tells me about her day and she tells me about her high school, like whatever.
Is there any moments that when you're with her
Yeah.
that you catch yourself like, oh my gosh, that's dad, that's me, like you're reenacting
Yeah.
moments that you learned from your pops?
Yeah.
And
All
you're projecting it to her.
So you know my dad.
Yes.
My dad is the complete opposite of me. Complete opposite of me. He is irrational. He is aggressive. He's angry.
Yes.
And he does not speak in sentences. Just fragments, if you will.
Yes.
Okay?
It's an ancient language.
Dad, how are you? Why? I mean, I was just asking about your well-being, but he says why, right? Oh,
And that's common, guys.
yeah,
I
it is
mean,
common. It's
in a future episode, we might get into like more like Filipino lingo
right.
on our culture, but that's very common.
You
It's so toxic.
I know. I know. That's a whole different topic.
Oh,
but
boy.
one thing that I can remember was that I left my car keys in my car one time.
Can I butt in eventually in this story? Because this is one of my favorite stories about your dad.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to talk about. It's a moment that you remember about my dad.
Yes.
So I live 45 minutes away. Thank
At
goodness.
the time.
Chaotic and Bogsy here drive me all the way to my house, and it's a gated community.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's where you can go ahead.
So we're picking up the car keys from Gooz's pops. We get into the community, right? And we don't even see his father's face. All you see is his arm through a gate, like through a bush, with the keys. and Goose goes, "Oh, there's my dad." Hops out the car and he gets the keys. We don't even see him. The arm goes back in. It's like a special treat in Disneyland. You just see something magical come out and then it just disappears and you don't know where it came from.
Now, don't get me wrong. I love my dad, but he's just very short, succinct, stern. He doesn't say much, So when I walked up to that gate, he goes, "You better not be lying to me." You better not be lying to me. You better get those keys back. And
The greatest thing in the world when you see your parents or any just elder Pinoy, and this has a lot to do with the Titos, you don't get greeted with any
Right.
sweetness most of
Right.
the times. You get greeted just like that.
And that's probably the underlying thing there, because although we talk about experiences like titos and titas, the
Right.
rumor mill, talking about like how our parents are,
Yeah.
it's universal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of our Mexican homies, our Latin homies, they have the same thing. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we say Asian blankets, they say Mexican blankets. It's all the same thing.
Both warm.
Yeah,
Both also
warm
warm.
as hell. They're all the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just crazy because like after dealing with that whole thing with my dad and just seeing those interactions with my sister, to go back to that, like today I was like, you better do. I tell her this all the time. I only have 3 things that I ask of you: clean your room, do good grades,
Mm.
like have good grades, do well in school,
Mm-hmm.
try your best. That's all I say.
Right.
And 3, it's like, tell me everything. That's the one thing I probably don't tell that's very different from my dad. It's because I was so scared to talk to my dad growing up.
Same here with my mom.
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's like a almost like a chance for me to kind of fix that, because I didn't have that conversation with my dad up until later in our lives, where I kind of been more sarcastic to him and stuff.
Right.
Started creating a dialogue. But I mean, you know, and after having that though, it really developed a really good relationship with my sister and I.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just because she could tell me anything.
Right.
You know?
I feel like, because I don't have any siblings. I'm an only child, but I have a lot of cousins, and a lot of them who are still very young. So in many ways, I can relate to that, and in many ways, I think that's the great connection with why we see so many elder uncles and aunties in Serramonte, because they are out there not just to gossip, because if they can't talk through their outlets through family at home, they're able to do it at the mall with their
Right.
friends, and that ultimately. And I saw this too. Obviously, you know, I've been to the Philippines a few times. God, you go to their malls. It's like I said in a previous episode, the mall is on steroids, and so is the meetups
Right.
on there. They do it the same way there. So what they did back home in the Philippines, they brought it over here too, and that's what they're doing too. Is whatever they can't communicate at home, they're communicating to their friends at the mall, and that's why they meet up there.
Right.
So
It's just interesting to see, because like we're joking about it right now
Right.
and everything.
well, we're headed there.
But we're headed there, and we're headed to hopefully like a better dialogue.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot more to unpack about like what it is to be Filipino American here, specifically in one of the most condensed, highly populated Filipino American like.
Oh yeah,
places.
we're in it, man.
we're in it,
This is it.
and
People know Daly City outside of Daly City.
yeah, what's the joke, right? The fog's here because
The rice cookers. There's so
Exactly.
many rice cookers in every house here in Daly City. So
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, to kind of wrap things up though, that in itself could be a completely different dialogue.
it can go on forever.
It can really go on forever. And impartial to like what Bogz and I think it's a good thing that we end up becoming the Titos in Serramonte.
I think
'Cause
so too.
Not only we can continue the history of being Titos in Serramonte,
We could be role models.
we can rewrite it.
You know, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh
Yeah,
shit,
give yourself. Give yourself. You know, I do want to give a shout out to the friends who I did travel around the mall with, and some of those friends actually had relatives in there, and I forget who, but I remember just walking by and. They're like, oh, that's my uncle. Let's go through another quarter. I don't want to go through the food court. They try to avoid contacting with family. But shout out to them, and shout out to all the future Titos and Titas that may end up at a food court near you. Who knows? Might be us.
The hills. So wait, are we done now?
Yes, you guys are lucky. He was about to sing a very legendary Filipino song for you, but you're gonna have to tune into another episode next time. Maybe he'll sing the rest of it for you, because this ain't the first time we're gonna touch up on our Filipino culture out here. You know, so my name is Bugsy,
Pare, my name is Goose.
and this is the 3 Dot Podcast, with a conversation does not stop, and neither does going to Serramonte Mall, meeting up in the food court, talking shit about the kid with the big backpack following a girl, and going to KB Toys because he thought toys was more important than
Yeah.
following the girl.
Then I go home and say, man, why were those people following me? Talking shit about me.
What the hell did I do to that, man?
Hey, man, that girl was my mom.
Oh,